All right, how's everybody doing? Sound check, sound check. Sound check, sound check. Sound check. All right, who is that? K-Dub. Thank you, K-Dub. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody good, good, good? Life is good. God is good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's see who we got here. Crystal Amber. Agape Love. All right, K-Dub. Adrian. Alasdair Grant. Leslie Vasquez. Amy D. What? All right. I'm good, Crystal. Thank you for asking. How? Thank you, thank you. Cindy Abbott. Miss Titdor. Stephanie Elizar. All right. Got us some moderators tonight. Looking good, looking good. We'll be getting started in about 3 minutes, 8:49. So go ahead and have your meet and greet. I have a few notes I need to gather. And we'll be getting started no later than 8:49. All right? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, thank you, Crystal. Much love to you and Cindy Abbott for your kind words. Thank you. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make one or two announcements and then we'll get started. Oh, wow. Amy D in the house with 5 super stickers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Amy D, for getting the party started. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Much love to you. Let me send you some love. Let me find my hearts. Thank you, Amy. There's some love out there to you. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. The first order of business is that we are having some kind of issues here with Google. Some people are complaining about their subscribers being erased, but my channel says that my Google ad is suspended. But I've watched a couple videos with that going, and I see ads on my video, so I know it's a mistake, and I know I haven't done anything to violate any rules. So I messaged them, and I'm sure they'll get it straight. Whatever's going on. So if you feel like you want to donate using Cash App or PayPal, please do, because I'm not sure what uh, capabilities I have here or which ones I don't as far as Google ads. I don't even know if this super chat stuff is connected to the ads. I have no idea. But I see from Amy D that you can do a sticker. So, all right, maybe that thing that notice is just, I hope it's just some fluke that they need to get straightened out. Yeah, we're gonna have an awesome discussion. That's right, Stephanie. And so guess what? We're going to get started here. I also wanted to bring up the newsletter. If you haven't gotten the newsletter, it's because I don't have your email address. So I'm gonna put my email address here quickly. And if you want the newsletter, but you didn't get it yet, you didn't get this one I just sent out, it's because I don't have your email. All right, so just give me any email you want to receive it. Here's the address here, and I'll send it to you. Okay, it's members only, but I have way more members than what I sent it out the last time. So I know, even though everybody's not asking me, it's it's a problem for more than one person. So I just need your email, and I'll send you the one you missed and the next one together probably. Okay? All right. So having those things out of the way, we can get started with our discussions because a lot of new information has come out. We've had documents come out. We've had people leak information. We've had a lot of information in the past like 2 weeks to where, okay, Agape said people are complaining in several chats the last few days about comments disappearing and other glitches. Yeah, Google is, I'm sure they're being flooded with help requests. And so I imagine it may take a minute for them to straighten it out, but I'm sure they will. I think it's a long time between now and the next time that we're compensated, or at least over here in the United States. I don't know about other places. Okay, I thought it was universal wherever you are in the world with the YouTube, but that may not be true. But all I know is I got suspension on some pages, and on some pages it doesn't say it. So it doesn't kind of look real either, because usually when you get a notification, it's on every page until you deal with it. And so I don't know what's wrong. I even have an error right now, but it has nothing to do with the chat. So I'm sure they'll get it straightened out. It's no use in flooding the help desk. I sent one note letting them know with the screenshots, and now it's just a waiting game. Yeah, Moscow law enforcement got on YouTube messing around deleting stuff. Probably did, Stephanie. Probably did. Let's start out with Steph, a wonderful moderator, faithful to her craft. All right, let's start out with giving Stephanie some love for always being in the meetings, showing love, enthusiastic, helping me out. I really appreciate you, Stephanie. Thank you. All right, I'm going to load the screen with our first discussion. Kind of leave our welcome up for a while for people that come in and out. Just come in check us out, and that's it. Now let's see. Interact. Okay, the browser is opening up in just a minute. All right. Hey, Elwing. Good to see you. Hey, Steve. Just give me some truth now. All right. Red Baron. All right. Yeah, it's loading a little slow, but I can read it from here. All right. So this is a copy of the response to the demand for the alibi. I haven't really been putting it in the videos, and so I'm going to just go over it a little bit now here, because everybody's reading the same documents. After a while, it just makes sense. Some people, all they do is read documents. So I just let them have it. I just let them have that. You know, I read documents sometimes, but some of these YouTube channels that are doing true crime, all they do is read documents. So they don't need me to add, you know. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Adrian. Red Baron. Hello, hello. All right, well, this is loaded kind of slow, so I'm going to just read it from my private browser. All right? The parts that I want to talk about. Until that's finished loading, or we might be here for a minute. I don't know, it's just one of those nights as far as technology. You know, I don't want to press my luck. Now, let's see. Did you hear about the filing to eliminate the grand jury indictment? Yes, I did, Agape. Yes, I did. And I don't want to read too much into that right now, because I feel like prosecution shot themselves in the foot when they did that. Because if they would have had that preliminary hearing on the 26th, like they were supposed to, they wouldn't have had to beg for the information they need right now. And so now they got to go all the way to October the 2nd without even knowing, with a not guilty plea, and not knowing, you know, exactly where this guy was. They don't know where he was. That's why they want him to tell them. That's why they want him to tell it, because they don't know. Because if they were dead set on knowing exactly where he was, it would make us stand by all of this circumstantial evidence they pieced together like a quilt. They wouldn't be caring about the alibi, but they want to make sure they're not going to be exposed. But let me tell you the problem here before we even get started with this document. You know, they need to know before October the 2nd if somebody is going to be accused of planting that sheep, because that's what's coming next. We already been told that the DNA has been all over the place. We've already been told that they're not going to produce that. And we've already been told that there's no connection between Brian Kohberger and the girls, the victims, as far as they know. We've already been told they found nothing in his car, in his apartment. So, you know, after a while, somebody gonna be. I thought the pings located him. Ellen, we all laughed at that one. We all laughed at that one because we all know how unreliable these cell towers are, as far as saying, I mean, they might find you and tell what general area you're in, but they're not getting ready to pinpoint anything. Not to some degree of accuracy with, 95% confidence. I don't think so. I can't see it. Because it's too many, if there are one or two instances where a mistake can be made, then it's not valid evidence. It's not real. You know, if you get a positive It could be a false positive. You know? Crystal Amber, I agree. I agree that he's going to get out on a technicality, one of about 50 mistakes, and we'll never know what his involvement is. Right. Leslie Vasquez, why are they even asking for his alibi if they know he was at King Road? Exactly. You should know, you know, you say you got pictures of his car, you sitting there looking at him. That shouldn't be a big deal. All right, let me scroll up. Let me see if I can scroll up because the browser didn't ever open. Let me see. Let me see if I can scroll up. Okay, there we go. Properties. All right, one moment, please. The browser is on. Okay, so I can interact here. It says Brian Kohberger's attorneys respond to the prosecution's demand for notice of alibi for murder case, full description. And I'm trying to scroll down. Let me just read it from over here. Okay, it says, comes now Brian C. Kohberger, by and through his attorney of record, Aaron C. Taylor, public defender, and hereby files notice in response to the demand for alibi and in compliance with Idaho Code 19519 and Idaho Criminal Rule 12.1. Mr. Kohberger notes that Idaho Code 19519.4 preserves his constitutional right to silence. Wait, let me put this on the screen and make sure you can see this paragraph. I just put it up there as a screenshot because I should be able to move this I should be able to interact here, and it's not doing it. All right, where was I? Oh, I was putting a screenshot up there for you. Yeah. Here it is. Because this is very important. All right. This paragraph says, Mr. Kohberger notes that Idaho Code 19519.4 preserves his constitutional right to silence as well as to testify on his own behalf. Mr. Kohberger stands firm on his constitutional right as well as the statutory recognition of that right. Noteworthy is that an alibi indicates a line of proof by which the defendant attempts to show that he could not have committed the crime of which he is accused because he was elsewhere at the time. C. Jorkland, alibi. Notice of defendant's response to the state. All right, what do y'all think so far? Yeah, I'm thinking Kaylee was way too close to calling some people out. Yeah, well, or getting called out. Or getting called out, Leslie. All right, shout out to Leslie. Let's get connected here because I'm reading the document. Y'all talking about something else. All right. So this is bigger than Moscow. Through some tentacles of the octopus are there. Shout out to Agape Love. All right, Cindy Allen. Yes, I've heard very complimentary things about Ann Taylor, saying that alone is the reason I was put on timeout by a YouTuber who I won't name, just for saying that. Cindy, shout out to Cindy Abbott, put in timeout just for saying that Ann Taylor knows what she's doing, because she does. I mean, it is what it is, and she does know what she's doing. So I don't see where this could be a problem, or something that somebody is threatened by as information, because it's the truth. That lady is a good attorney. That's right. It's a free country. You know, the Bible says where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. And liberty means freedom. And you should have the freedom to say whatever you want to, because the First Amendment is just copying out of the Bible. Yeah, well, he's already been drawn way down, deep down in the rabbit hole. We have to pray for him. And that's all I'll say about that. That's the best motive I can think of. All right. Who did I just okay, that's K-Dub. I'm gonna give you a shout out for your kind words. Because even if you believe Kohberger is guilty, even if you believe whatever you believe, it's fine. We want different points of view in here. If everybody's saying the same thing, I'll be bored. I'll be ready to go do something else. Huh. All right, so far, okay, I just got an email from you requesting a newsletter. I got it. So I'll be sure to send you the copy probably in a few minutes. All right, and so that was just the first paragraph where it's saying he has a constitutional right to provide an alibi or not provide an alibi. And also he has the right to testify on his own behalf. Now, do you think Brian Kohberger is going to testify on his own behalf? Yes or no? Type it in the chat. We talked about Dylan now, but we didn't talk about Brian. What's going on now? Yes or no? Oh, Robin Latham. Robin woke up from her nap. Everybody give Robin Latham some applause for waking up out of her nap and gracing us with her presence. Shout out to Robin. All right, I got 2 yeses, 2 no's, 3 no's, 4 no's, 5 no's, 6 no's, 7 no's. Oh, Denny and B River Girl. What? Tina Velez. Shout out to Tina, Denny, and B River Girl. Oh. Y'all, everybody said no. I only got 2 or 3 yeses. You can't say it's possible. You gotta say yes or no. You gotta say yes or no. Not it's possible. That's not acceptable. We're not doing that. If 2 people said it's possible, we need a yes or a no. Leslie Vasquez. If I was truly innocent, I would testify. Hopefully he doesn't need to, because Ann can do it on her own. Excellent post. Excellent post, Leslie. They say a narcissist will always take the stand. But I think Brian Kohberger, judging from his behavior up until now, possibly may not take the stand. I don't think he's a narcissist because he doesn't want cameras in the courtroom. Shout out to Denny. What's up, Denny? Silence is bliss. Well, listen. He probably, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it'll ever go that far, because look what all they did to stop him from testifying at a preliminary hearing. So why would they open the door and let him come in and testify in the courtroom just for a regular trial? They were so scared of the preliminary hearing, they jumped out with a grand jury to indict him. No, don't underestimate him. No, I don't. I knew from the beginning that this guy, at his age, I've been saying it in my videos from day one. For somebody his age to be on his PhD, even having overcome drug addiction, and was halfway across the country, had his little apartment in his car. He was a teaching assistant. He was on his way. And so he didn't get there being a fool. He didn't get there without a string of arrests on his record that had to be expunged without being, by being a fool. That's you don't get that far unless you're disciplined. Well, I probably should get the survey. Well, according to the survey, about 70% believe that Dylan and Bethany let the killers in. That's where we are right now. Tina Velez, shout out to Tina. Yep, Tina, you're right. They've been underestimating that man from day one. And now that he's been quiet all this time while they lie. Now they want to hear what he got to say. You should have got that information in the interrogation room. That's what I say. You should have got that. All this stuff you want to know, you supposed to found that out before you arrested somebody. How about that part right there? Right there down the middle. And to the bowling alley and back. How about that? How about finding out if he had an alibi before you arrested him? How about that part right there? Stop right there, Give him an award for actually asking somebody about their alibi before they arrest them. You get a standing ovation for that. How about you find out if he had an alibi before you storm his parents' house and bust out some windows? She's gone down the rabbit hole. Donna R. I hope BK Sue's News Nation and Nancy Ungraceful. Shout out to Donna and Agape Love. All right, Adrian, 199. That's so pretty. Thank you for the pretty flower and the pretty heart. Thank you, Adrian. Y'all big money tonight. We got big money in here tonight, the ballers. Red Baron, in the name of the law. Shout out to Red Baron. I appreciate you all so much. I see you. Shout out to Robin Latham and Red Baron. Yeah, it's Thursday night. It's Thursday night. Yeah, we got a good group. Now let's see. I'm gonna move on with the paperwork. See what else we can find. It's dated July 24th. And let me just go ahead and download. All right, so here's the deal. Here's the thing we need to really try to overcome as a group. These police are gonna be charged. I heard people saying the kids had 8 hours to hide the sheath. Well, if that's the case, if the kids hid the sheath, I hate to get off the subject, but I saw a comment here just now. If the kids hid the sheath, then everybody in the PCA would be saying they saw it as soon as they walked in. Because we know it would have been there. Huh? Yeah. Let me see. See if I have the download. I thought I had the whole document. Oh, well, let me go somewhere else then. Okay, here we go. I hope Brian Kohberger is not that crazy to get up on the stand in Moscow, Idaho. I hope like crazy he's not that crazy. Please tell me. Okay, I need to open a different window for my document. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. I need to take that down. And start a new one. All right. Okay, I'm trying to stay in touch with you, but let me get this done. Because we're moving around too much. You should be able to see it in just a second. There it is. All right, that was the intro paragraph. And now let's move down. I guess that's it. All right, a defendant's denial of the charges. Hold on now. A defendant's denial of the charges against him does not constitute an alibi. But as soon as he offers evidence that he was at some place other than where the crime of which he is charged was committed, he is raising the alibi defense. Mr. Kohberger's defense team continues investigating and preparing his case. Evidence corroborating Mr. Kohberger being at a location other than the King Road address will be disclosed pursuant to discovery and evidentiary rules, as well as statutory requirements. It is anticipated that this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination of witnesses produced by the state, as well as calling expert witnesses. Okay, that's a very important statement. It says, it is anticipated this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination. In other words, somebody gets on the stand, and then after they testify, we get to ask them some questions. Produced by the state as well as their expert witnesses. Now, what expert witnesses if the DNA is not going to be used? Huh? Who does the mysterious DNA of two belong to? I would love to know that myself. I would, I would love to know. Shout out to Agape Love. I would love to know. Because, I was shocked to find out how close they were to the actual crime scene, to the bodies. That's just ridiculous. That's really ridiculous. Bet that sheep isn't, Miss Potts, bet that sheep isn't mentioned in the coroner's report, and that's who should have found it, considering its alleged location partially under a body and comforter. You know what, Miss Potts, I'm going to give you a brain. Because you know, and I know, when they moved the bodies, and when the coroner came to take a look at the bodies, they had to look around, dig around and stuff. And so the coroner got there at what, 5:30? By sometime that evening, it should have been noticed. I'm just saying. Oh, shout out to Miss Potts. I forgot. Now I'm just saying. The best thing for him to do with this alibi situation is what he's doing. Don't tell him anything unless he has to. So far, all they have is a not guilty plea, and we'll use the alibi if we have to. It's masterful the way they're doing the prosecution. All of that mess is coming back on him. And that's not to say he's innocent or guilty. We're talking about the process right now. It's how you play the game. They give you the manual and you don't want to follow the manual. You don't feel like you have to follow the manual. Nobody else does either. Nobody else either. Agape Love. My daughter and her best friend are coming over. I may have to cut out in a while. All right, let me send you some love, Agape. Thank you for letting us know. Okay. Find a purple heart for Agape. All right, Cindy. Also rare for someone to wait till age 28 to commit a crime of this nature. Usually begins younger. Right. Shout out to Cindy. There's usually some evidence of somebody that's unstable enough to do something like this. You don't just wake up one day and the person that you knew all of this time, was doing this kind of stuff. And the time to do that is when you high on heroin. Not when you supposed to be clean and you made it the teacher's assistant. It'd be different if he was aspiring to these things. But he hadn't accomplished much of it yet. But this man he was already on his 3rd degree. He already probably had a free ride at WSU. And all he needed was a little piece of car and a little piece of apartment, and he had that. And it would just been a matter of time of him doing things by the book, by the manual. That's why I don't like him. Because he was doing stuff by the book. And 28 years old to be in a PhD program, and that man didn't have time either. because I'm in PhD program, and I know how time consuming it is. And there's no way in the world, and imagine at 28, and you're a teacher's assistant? Wait a minute. I knew then he was no stalker, because his obsession is with climbing the ladder of success financially and probably socially. I think that was his goal, to become somebody prestigious socially. I honestly believe that's always been his motive. To come from being a misfit to, they say the greatest revenge is success. To make some of those kids that mess with him in the yearbook turn around and have to call him Dr. Kohberger. That's what was coming. That's what he had for him. He wasn't trying to kill nobody. He was finna get his revenge for being bullied and all that right there. They was gonna come to the school, the alumni, to the reunions, and have to call him Dr. Kohberger. How is that for revenge? I'm just saying. All right, so where were we? On the that document is short, but another thing that I really believe is a problem for the prosecution is Dylan's statement. How many times do I have to say it? These girls are not 100% clean in this. They are not. And I have people get mad with me because I made a few videos saying, hey, we have to also look at, okay, what's going on here? Stephanie Elazar gifted 5 memberships. Stephanie, you just nonstop. You a nonstop blessing, Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie. Thank you, Steph. Thank you. That's beautiful. I mean, y'all are building the channel. I can't say y'all are the ones doing the building. Because I know Robin and Stephanie have gifted a lot of memberships. And so I have to say thank you, and let me give you all a shout out together, Robin and Stephanie. Shout out to you both for being so supportive, always giving to the channel. Thank you so much. You helping push the little train right on around the track. Thank you both. Thank you, Stephanie. And those of you that were gifted memberships, be sure to send me your email so that you can get the newsletter. Leslie, I'll see yours after the live. Okay? Wow. Thank you. Let me send some more love over here in the corner. All right? Thank you. And welcome. Miss Potts, bet that sheep isn't mentioned. Okay, we did that. We did my daughter. We did how did Opie see the sheep from the doorway if it was partially under a body and comforter? All right, that's true, Miss Potts. We've been there. Some of these they already deleted. Some of this we said in the beginning, and it's been deleted because I'm just saying we have said stuff. We said some of this stuff months ago. Months ago. And he was specific in how he said it. He said it was the side closest to the door. Remember that? Huh? Yes. The motion to dismiss. That for some reason they want to have the indictment from the grand jury thrown out. And there's really no reason to do that at this point. Because first of all, if they were going to just turn around and let him off the hook, they wouldn't have called the grand jury with just a handful of people that's probably all related and go to the same church. If the reason for the grand jury was to jam him up and bypass the preliminary hearing to where he had a chance to tell his side of the story. And now that they have the indictment, they want to bully him into giving him the information. But that's not how it works. Well, it works if you don't have a good lawyer. It works if you really don't have much knowledge of the legal system, but on a good day, that doesn't work. All right? It's a technicality, something they have to do to file and fight the indictment. But in the meantime, they know there's no way in heaven or hell Brian Kohberger is not going to trial. There's no way he's not going to go to trial. So that's just, I mean, Ann Taylor filed for the grand jury motion to dismiss. That's a technicality. That's something she's supposed to do as his lawyer. But there's no way in hell Brian Kohberger is not going to trial. He's going, if he got to be in his birthday suit, he's going to trial. All right? This is 4 kids, and 2 of them are homegrown, at least 2 of them. And this happened right on the university doorstep. Somebody's going to have to hang in public for that. And so it doesn't matter what they do or say towards the grand jury. Brian Kohberger is going to have to go to trial. You know, and that's how they're going to get some of their money back too, because the media in Idaho is making money off of this just like the media everywhere else. This is an international case. So that after a while, they realize that just to have it dragging on, you know, they're making a little bit of their money back. There's some revenue coming into the state because of this case. And after a while, people going to start selling T-shirts with the Idaho 4 faces on them and stuff, if they're not doing it already. And so, I mean, it's coming, folks. I mean, times change. Times change. Just like everybody was so ready to crucify Brian up until April and March. And now everybody's scoffing at the evidence and saying and suspecting law enforcement. Next thing you know, people will be cooking out hot dogs outside the courthouse with pictures of Idaho 4 and free Kohberger. I mean, times change. You know, times change. It's people praying every day. And things that were going to happen, they happening in other ways. It's people worshiping and doing rituals every day to try to interfere with the natural course of life. So times change, just like the sun is turning around, and sometimes it's day and sometimes it's night. It's the same way in life. It's going to be the same. It's the same way with this trial. Some days it seems like Kohberger better be on his knees. And then in some days it just seems like, why don't they just let this guy out? You know, at least give him a bond because your case is ridiculous. Times change. And when you're not ready for that paradigm shift, that's when all hell breaks loose. It doesn't break loose because of the problem. It breaks loose when you're not ready for it and you can't ride the wave until you get to the new. Because times change. All right? We don't know. Evidently, they're not concerned with who the 2 DNA belong to. And who can trust them? Oh, shout out to One Made Nut. All right. One Made and shout out. Send some love. Yep. Well, Stephanie, let me see. Well, BK did in fact say back in December he was looking forward to being exonerated. Yeah, he did. He did, didn't he, Steph? He did. Shout out to Stephanie. He did say from day one. And when he finally, by the time he gave his plea, he had already said in so many words, just like you saying, that he was gonna go to not guilty route. All right, Leslie Vasquez just earned a brain. Exactly, it spooked them when Ann subpoenaed Bethany. Leslie, you get a brain for that. Yeah, you get a brain for that. Because you notice when it was time, and that was really one of the first moves Ann Taylor made. Because for a long time, all we were hearing about was what the prosecution was doing. And why? Ann Taylor and Kohberger were quiet, and we didn't really hear much. We didn't have much to go on, right? BK knows. Let me see what I missed up here. Miss John E. Knapp, welcome, welcome. All right. Welcome. I don't think I saw you back. Hold on. All right. All right. Welcome, welcome. Let's see what else happened here. All right. I agree. The grand jury now, the question is why are they so desperate to make this guy the guilty party, as that is how this looks. They don't have anybody else. They killed Kohberger. I mean, he would have been somebody they could pin it on, right? Shout out to Cindy. He could have been somebody to pin it on. They killed him. At least Brian still got his life. Because that was crucial right there. And then as soon as they killed him, they turned around looking for Brian. I believe I might have left the country. Tina Velez, the case can be dropped during the trial, I think. Yeah, and they can mediate and ask for it to be thrown out. The prosecution can say, hey, they got us across the barrel. We talked about it, and this is what we're willing to do. But regardless, they're going to try to make Brian take some charge to prove it wasn't all just a waste of time. They might offer him a deal to say, hey, man, we're going to offer you burglary and, withholding information and throw everything else out. So we can kind of pretend like you were involved with this without a shadow of a doubt by your own admission. It's just we can't prove how much. They're going to try to make him take at least one charge to even make a deal. So that's kind of messed up when you think about it. You ain't done nothing but to get out. You got to at least get a little dirty, I did not, what did I say? Hell. I hope it didn't get any worse than that, Robin. Adrian, yes, having a prelim instead of indictment, he can challenge the arrest in the first place to be exonerated without any trial. Exactly, Adrian. That's exactly what they didn't want. They were so desperate. Shout out to Adrian. They're so desperate to keep that preliminary hearing from happening. That's the only reason they rushed for the grand jury, to just put off the inevitable. Because whatever was, it's still a trial date. You just gave them more time to prepare. How about the cop whose name starts with T? You mean Tolleson? I'm still looking him up. It could be that he has something, to do with it, but I would like to see a little bit more information on him before I really start making bold statements. That's the way I see that. Okay, Moscow, 15 minutes of fame. True that. Yes, Leslie, also everyone on social media sleuthing doesn't help them either. You know what, Stephanie? The way I see that, whenever something like this happens, or anytime you have a major event, this, like that, it's something, somebody's going to do something. Everybody's not going to be on the same page ever. And so, either you got a strong case or you don't. Because you're going to have opposition, you can have positive and negative energy. Oh, Jennifer S. This case about to go in a law book and Brian's going to write it, LOL. Shout out to Jennifer S. Sometimes I have to go back and look in my chat because I can't see it sometimes depending on what I'm reading. And then I have to go back. But I'm going to send y'all some love because I didn't see you. Jackie Bushable. Miss Potts, who is Kirk Adams? Does anyone know? Doesn't Steve know? And who was that? Miss Bush? I thought I saw. Well, Donna R. Stephanie Means, but so many pieces I'm missing. Shout out to Donna R. Laura Wilhelm. All right. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your input. Now let's keep going. I missed a step, but I'll find it later. The coroner is useless. Toxicology reports irrelevant. She lost my vote. LOL. Okay, Steph. You know one thing? That lady said y'all called the police 8 hours after they died. The detectives didn't get there until 4 o'clock. And so don't expect me to come and know where everything is and how long those kids have been deceased when y'all didn't even get me to the bodies until dang near the next day. You know, she could say that. You know, if I feel like she should have, whenever they called the dispatcher at 11:58 and that call came to Moscow, I feel like right then the coroner should have been called to the house. I feel like at 11:58 when they called and then went to Whitcomb and Pullman, and then Pullman notified Moscow, I believe right then the coroner should have been called to the house. That's just me now. That's just me now. Now, I guess she said it's all in a day's work. They don't ever get it straight. You know, maybe they never get it straight over there in Moscow. So she knows not to show up until everybody gets there. All right, yes, there are not a million DNA samples found in the house. There was a huge party there that very Friday night. Shout out to Cindy. Yes, there was. I mean, really, they know the DNA is useless. DNA evidence in that house, I wouldn't trust it with a 10-foot pole. It could be somebody on the staff DNA. I'm talking about the rescue truck that came and the first responders, the EMTs, and people that come whenever there's a call like that. It could be theirs. I mean, honestly, it could be anybody's. And so, I want to talk about this genealogy. And that's something we haven't really. I want to go back to the genealogy. Okay? Because I was talking about the implications of this case before, and I think a lot of people, I kind of lost some people because of how I was saying it at such a time. They just really didn't want to believe it. All right? They didn't want to believe it. So I'll tell the state you'll get this alibi where Geigg. Right? Miss Potts, that's right. Shout out Miss Potts. That's what I said. Well, that's what they're saying too. You know? You don't want to give the IGG. You don't want to give the you don't want to talk about what you withholding, but then you're gonna try to make me give you what I got. That's where the bullying comes in. I don't know if everybody got a chance to look at my video that I put out earlier today, this evening sometime. But that's what they're saying. Now, here's a question I have for you, and I'm changing my screen. You should be able to see it in just a minute. Here's the big question, and I want you to think about this before you give me your answer. Think about the DNA. excuse me, think about the DNA. Think about how they said that they came up with Brian. Remember they said they passed it from Texas to the FBI. He went on a public site and came up with Brian's name by building out a tree. This is not a biological discovery. This is something sort of like what I did when I logged into Ancestry. And this is something that's not, I mean, you can add to the information, the public can, without even permission, you know? So here's the question. If Brian Kohberger was somewhere else, how you doing? If Brian Kohberger was with somebody, was with his girlfriend in another city, okay? What is this person from the FBI gonna be arrested? The person that submitted Brian's name on the 19th, is he going to jail? I'm just saying, because this is somebody that we can actually tie to placing Brian with the DNA and the sheep. So is he going to jail or not? If Brian's alibi holds up, is what I mean. Huh? Is he going to jail? All right, Adrian, tear apart the FBI agents with their faulty cast info. Now, Adrian, guess what? You know, I need to go back and look at some of my videos so I know which is which. But you know, that's a good point, Adrian. But you know, if you read the PCA very carefully, that cast info stuff is not the conclusions of the FBI. That's something Opie did. That's something Opie did. That cast that he's claiming he collaborated with the FBI on, he did that. That's Opie's work. All of that phone ping stuff, that's Opie. It is nothing to do with FBI. They might have turned him on to some information, but they didn't tell him that that was the conclusions that he made in the PCA. He says with his own mouth that those are conclusions he came to. Yes, yeah, yes. The coroner took her instruction from Ellie instead of the other way around. True. Shout out to Elwing. She pretty much had to just go with the flow. They probably told her to go in there, write something very general, and come on out. You're right, Elwing. We have to remember that. That's kind of what I was saying before. You know, this lady is just going along with the flow. Because by the time she got there, she know some of everything had jumped off. There's no use in her trying to do her job because everything jumped off. Not to mention that Ellie never ran into other DNA found near Kaylee and Maddie. Shout out to Tina. Now, what y'all think about this? Shout out to Tina. All right. What if they do know who the other two belong to and they belong to the police? That explains how they got a scapegoat in the middle of this thing here. Huh? Maybe they did test it and they know who the two are. And the two people are affluent, or the two people are police, or the two people are somehow related to the church, or the two people are the children of somebody that's very affluent. They can't afford a scandal. Okay, maybe they know exactly who those two were. Maybe it's more than two. Maybe they know exactly who they belong to, and that's the reason for the cover-up in the first place. Because we have to ask ourselves, why do they want to cover this up? Who are they trying to protect? Why should they care whether it's Brian Kohberger or whoever, as long as they get the right person? Why do we need the cover up? Huh? Yeah, the grand jury doesn't have to admit it because they're all on the same team. They're all on the same team. Cindy Abbott, someone mentioned yesterday how strange it was that we obviously saw no pics of bodies being removed from the house. I think I even saw John Benet's. Shout out to Cindy. Well, they had a lot of bags and stuff. They had a lot of bags and different things, loading them on trucks, and then they had the truck backed up to the door with sheets on the side to where you couldn't even see going in and out. So they had a lot of opportunities to move the bodies without it being visible to the public, I think. Now, that's just me now. All right? That was Cindy, and this is Agape Love. I say the same, Leslie. They didn't check out, or they did, and it didn't turn out well for a couple people. Right. That's what I said, Agape Love. Red Baron, not having body cams is to me the same as tampering with evidence. Right. It is. Shout out to Agape Love and Red Baron. Yep. That's right. Okay, Jennifer S. Andy Ruler, it is my understanding it was the way they, the grand jury, were presented information about Brian and how they were instructed to determine an indictment. Shout out to Jennifer S. Yes, you know, they're just going with the flow. We do that all the time, don't we? I reloaded my screen, I thought. Not sure why it's taking so long. It should be showing. Okay, well, let's see. Where are we? Adrian, I've always had this weird feeling that this is some sort of thing for Brian's thesis. A lot of people are saying that this is, set up in its posture. It wasn't just some arbitrary crime or something, whatever. That gives me a very, very weird vibe when people say that. I can't describe it. I can't say it's for it or against it either way. I just get a weird vibe when I hear people say that. All right. I've always had, you're sweet, Jennifer. Thank you. I did not catch that show yet. Jackie Bushable, he had nothing to lose by November. Shout out to Jackie. Shout out to Jackie Bushable. Elwing, Right Heart True. Shout out to Elwing W. I'm just trying to give you whatever insight I have based on my own personal experience. Because, we've all seen a lot of court cases like Casey Anthony, where, we had some very rough situation going on. And then to turn around and have somebody charged like this and they figure it's supposed to be slam dunk, and then stuff comes out to where people start changing their mind. I've never changed my mind about Casey, though. I felt like she was responsible for her daughter's death, even if she didn't actually do it for the simple fact that she's the one that took her away from the house. And that little girl didn't die at home. Or the car wouldn't have smelled like that. All right, now let's see. Yep, working as teacher, student, and working at the police department all at once with straight A's. He didn't have time. He didn't have time. Shout out to Tina. He didn't have time. And he didn't want to either. Because you know a man's mindset by where he invests the most amount of his time. Let me tell you something. Let me give it to you from a Bible perspective. The Bible says where a man's treasure is, his heart is also. In other words, if you want to know what somebody really care about, look at where their treasure is. And the treasure is not just your money, it's also your time. And look how much time he had invested in his career, in his education. Both of them, not just one or the other. He wasn't just a student. He was aggressively pursuing his career. All right, this is what all his time, money, and energy went into. Being able to go to that school and apply to the police department. Now, if he was the stalker type, he would be invested more in how he's looking when he go out around the ladies. He'll be invested in what he's driving. He would want probably a better car than any launcher to try to get these young girls. You know, he would have came like that. But he didn't seem to be a big flashy dresser to me or anything like that, trying to get women. I don't get that impression. This guy was focused, and out of all the complaints from his students, not one of them one of the girls got up there and said, or the guys got up there and said he was inappropriate with them, or got fresh with them, or said something inappropriate, or he was staring at them in class. None of his current students said that about Brian. None of them. But yet they got a sergeant over there that was just let go for having sex right down campus with the people. You know, they had more problems with sexual misconduct on the force than they did with him. But yeah, he's the one in the hot seat for these young girls. I can't buy that. I can buy it, but not like that. Not like that. You know, you have to change up something. You have to change up something because it's not fitting the MO. It doesn't fit the MO. And you can tell when somebody's on heroin. And even if he had drug problems in the past, when he got to Washington, he had his act together. Because you could look at his face and tell when he was doing drugs. You could look at his pictures and tell when he was doing drugs and when he wasn't. You know, and he would have been in withdrawal at the jail. If he was this big heroin addict, as soon as he hit Lotard, they would have had to give him pills. The nurse would have had to come give him a pill every 6 or 7 hours. If he was a heroin addict, he would be in withdrawal. He wouldn't be walking in court moping behind Ann Taylor. He would be somewhere laid out, sweating like a pig, hollering for his mama. If he was a heroin addict, locked in a county jail, away from home, charged with four murders, and we've seen this dude walk in the courtroom it's just another day in the office. He looks healthy. His hair's growing out a little bit. Other than that, it's really no big deal. So we know it's a bunch of foolishness, some of this stuff that people have been telling us. Brian did not have to give any sort of alibi with that notice from the prosecution demanding the alibi in that notice, LOL. Well, I think, shout out to Jennifer S. And thank you to Stephanie for gifting memberships. Let me give you some love. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Steph. All right, so thank you so much And I see the recipients: Kelly, Carly, music lover, Susan, Gardner. So far, I got one newsletter request. Chicanti. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's what's up. And I'm sure BK saw many pretty girls at the school in Washington he was attending and teaching at, yet he chose ones at this house in a DP state. Washington is not a DP state. Yes, Cindy, I said the same thing. Shout out to Cindy. I said the same thing. You know, why would he pass over all these little hot tail girls at Washington State and he just got to be in Moscow running behind somebody over there in that house with all that alcohol and stuff. He didn't look like he wanted to even be associated with anything like that. You know, that's not the track he was on. It's not the track that he was on. Miss Potts, the entire state of Idaho is about to get a full-on lesson in the U.S. Constitution by way of Ann Taylor, BK and Company. Their filings are full-on accusing the state and law enforcement of violating lots of people's rights. Because they are, Miss Potts. Shout out to Miss Potts. Because they are. And that's why I'm asking y'all, who's going to jail? Who's going to get it? Somebody going to get it. Who's going to get it? Somebody get ready to get it. Like Cat Williams said, who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Somebody's getting ready to get it. You know, it is. But I'm just saying, somebody get ready to get it for these lies. Alice Dare Grant. Shout out to Alice Dare. What a beautiful name, Alice Dare. I enjoy listening to someone that is a million miles away. In my opinion, is that your case is never going to be solved as there is. I know nothing. Yeah, but we're having fun. That's the important part. Alice Dare, not the case. Getting together, hanging out, having some good times, having a laugh, you know. That's good. That's good enough. Right? How you feel about that one? Let's see. Stephanie, you are very, very kind. Just arriving. Hello, Hard Truth. You're right. The girls are not 100% clean in this. Lisa Gosinski. I need some love. All right, Lisa. Here's some love. There we go. I give it to you. Shout out to Lisa G. We'll just say Lisa G. All right. Phyllis Vega. Shout out to Phyllis. Welcome. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. My doggy is doing his best to interrupt my studies here, dang it. Shout out to Robin and her pup. Or her doggy. I don't think he's a baby anymore. Is he, Robin? Oh, hug the doggy for me, Robin. Right. I know, right? Amos. Amos. That's his name. Amos. Jennifer S. 100% what not to do when attempting to frame someone. Step 1, make sure the guy you're framing is smarter than you. All right, Miss Potts. I'm going to give you a shout out for that one. That was great. I mean, they sure picked wrong this time. We'll give you some love, Lisa. Yeah, here's some more love. We got plenty of it for you. Michelle Nance, thank you so much. Shout out to Michelle. All right. Now let's see. Jackie Bushable. Jennifer, he will write the book. I agree 100%. He might already be writing it, right? He might be writing that book right now in jail. If he was smart, he would be. If you're smart, he would be. Yeah, he's gonna write. He's gonna write somebody gonna write it and say he wrote it, and they'll both be getting money. I think I'm running behind on these comments. Tolson. I think my comments rolled back. Uh, uh, what happened? Be sure, Lisa, DNA on the thumbs up for all heart. Shout out, Amy D. All right. Shout out to Amy D, showing some love. Kathleen Rollins. Hello, you bring much laughter. Thank you. Shout out to Kathleen. I see you up there. All right. No one deserves to be murdered. Elwin, what about the person who murdered the 4 people? Do they deserve to be murdered? I'd like to hear what you have to say to that question. What about the people the person that murdered these 4 kids, do they deserve to be murdered? I want to know. Huh? Does the person that killed the Idaho 4 or people, do they deserve to be murdered? Talk to me. Huh? Talk to me. Do the people who killed these kids deserve to be murdered? All right. Well, the Bible does say, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Stephanie said no. Let the Lord deal with them. Wow. I want the real murderers to come to justice. All right, Tina, do you mean justice as far as the death penalty or just whatever justice they decide? Huh? Oh, Tony Grant in the house. Shout out to Tony. Yeah. I'm going to give my first round of shout outs to the people that's viewing us outside the United States. All right. And tonight in our lineup, I want to give my first shout out to New Zealand. We got a nice showing in New Zealand. All right. So we're going to shout out to New Zealand first. And then next, Sydney and Brisbane, Australia. Nice showing. New Zealand and Sydney and Brisbane. All right, and then we have Canada. Cape Town, South Africa. All right. Germany. Switzerland. Ireland. All right. Russia. All right. I believe we had 37 views from Russia. Italy. India. All right. So our international family is growing. I want to say much love to you. I can't call all of the countries, but these are the most, and I've left out the UK, I'm sorry. Always the UK. That's like number 2 after United States. But thank you and welcome to all of our international viewers. If you're outside of the United States, thank you and welcome for coming and sharing with us. I can't call all of them, but I try to catch the ones that have a pretty good number of people tuning in. All right. And so New Zealand and Australia have the biggest increase in viewers so far, especially New Zealand and Australia. All right. So you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Even if you end up watching on replay, because I was very, not really surprised, but I'm delighted. I'll use that word. I'm delighted to see so many viewers from Sydney and Brisbane. Yeah. All right. So next shout out I give will be for right here in the United States. We got New York, Seattle, Washington, Texas, Chicago, Pennsylvania, Atlanta, Georgia, of course. What? Huh? And then we have, let's see, Minnesota. All right, so those are our leading states tonight. To my homies right here in the greatest country on earth, United States of America. All right, welcome international viewers. And we are human rights advocates here in every walk of life. We are advocates for life and liberty and freedom for everybody, no matter where you are, and no matter what your country might be going through. And we all support you, and we're all in it together for everybody. I'm no respecter of persons. I'm not on anybody's side in these conflicts all over the place. I'm for human rights and human life, peace and equality. That's who I'm for. And I'm for the kids, because grown people can take care of themselves. But I'm for the children. Okay? So that's where I stand on all these issues. Leave the children out of it. Okay? That's my motto. All right. New Jersey, South Carolina, Kansas. Oh, Kansas. What? Colorado, Rhode Island. What? Kathy G. Shout out to Kathy G. You tried to sneak one on me. Where's Renee Pitt? Renee from Pennsylvania. We have from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Renee. Terry Butler, I'm going to give you a brain for that. Terry Butler, I'm going to give you a brain, because nobody seemed to catch that. When I was saying it, didn't seem like people were listening to me. Oh, another one for New Jersey. What? Crystal Amber. Shout out to Crystal. What New Jersey doing up in here? Well, New York is here, so of course New Jersey. All right. Where's New York up in here? Where's Steve? Huh? Where's Steve K? Listen. What I'm trying to tell you is now you just listen to me. Terry Butler, BK's dad, ruined their plan to label him a fugitive and trample on his rights. I said that, and I said that, and I said that, and I said that, and people were not receptive to it. But I will stand by that until the end. They really wanted to jam Brian up, but his dad was in the car. I believe if Mr. Kohberger was not in the car, they would have impounded that car, and they would have took him to jail for something minor, long enough to plant and do whatever they needed to do with his property and whatever they needed to gather from him. But grace be to God, Mr. Kohberger was in the car with him. And when they walked up on the car, they were shocked by that. That's what I said, Terry. And I'm still saying it. Because, boy, they were hot on his trail as soon as they left Kopaka's apartment. You know, Crime Circus brought that up. Crime Circus brought that up. So, where are we? Where are we in the comments? We got Colorado, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Kansas, South Carolina, Minnesota, Donna R, North Carolina, Florida, the Sunshine State, my home state. Miss John E. Knapp, Florida, New England, yep. That's right. Hard truth, as someone who has a large number of international cyber friends, you have the personality that will likewise attract a global audience. Oh, thank you, Cindy. I'm going to send you some love. Thank you. That was real sweet. Yeah, I love my international friends. I do have some communication with my friends in South Africa, not too many, and in the UK. But I look forward to meeting. I just look forward to meeting anybody from any of these places, and maybe we'll be able to meet up one day for some kind of a conference. You never know. All right. Minnesota, all right. Now, very diverse group. Northeast part of the U.S., Miss Potts. Yeah, I told y'all. I look at my data. I look at the geography for cities and countries to try to see if there's any change and why. And we have a very large international following. You know, we're headed, also we're nearing 2,000 subscribers, and that's very good because just last month we were trying to get 1,000. So, I mean, things are great. I appreciate each and every one of you because we're still here. It's a very diverse group. We have Canada is just like our family, next door neighbor. Now, as far as I'm concerned, they can put the U.S. and Canada data together because that's over here. And then UK, Scotland, Ireland, Sweden. We got people tuning in from all those places. And I'd like for you to know that because, you know, you never know who's in the group. You can network with, become friends, or talk to good people, meeting good people. That's powerful. All right, so you got some good people around you. Strike up a conversation, you know, and like that. Now, all right, let's see. Yes, people here have the personalities that will be loved globally. Teachers asking the tough questions now, right? That's right, Robbie. Ray Annette. Okay, where's Ray Annette? When did she come in? At Ray Annette P. Somebody saw Ray Annette? I haven't seen her in here. Maybe she is. All right. Well, let me go back up. Oh, I see. Good evening, everyone. I'm in North Central Florida. Okay. Hope you are having a blessed evening. All right. Shout out to Ray Annette. We were looking for you. I was anyway. I see you. All right. Okay. I send some love to Ray Annette. Now, let's find our topic. We were talking about I was talking about genealogy and who's going to jail, because I'm just saying that DNA on that sheep, that's a very specific piece of evidence. You know, that's something that I mean, either it is or it isn't. Let me put the sheep on here. Either it is or it isn't. And so if somebody planted this sheep, this man was nowhere near this property, and they got all in the PCA, how they went through all these processes and identified this man and burst in his family home and dragged him out, put him on a plane and sent him back to Idaho. I mean, what's going on with this DNA? This genealogy tree. What's going on? I thought you said it was him, is what I'm saying. Was it him or not? Because by now you should know. Was it him or not? Because that's not funny to try to implicate somebody just for show. I mean, that's crazy. Somebody going to jail out of that group, out of that precinct, or out of that space. Somebody going because somebody told some big lies. Somebody been telling some big, big, big lies. All right? Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is not so much the knife and the knife sheath, but Ethan and Xana. I want to talk about Ethan and Xana and the fact that they were not necessarily unalived second. I think that Ethan and Xana were executed possibly first. Because Ethan was the only guy that we know of, and it looks to me like they would want to, subdue him first. That's the way I see it. Now let me change my screen. All right. All that means is they're going to have to work for it. You know what I mean? That means they're going to have to work for it. You got a not guilty plea, and you don't know for sure what they're going to say about the alibi. And so, I mean, the prosecution going to have to work for it. And trying to bully their way through, that's not going to get it. Oh, Tell It to L. Good to see you. Shout out to Tell It to L. All right. Good to see you. Okay, so what were we talking about? Now you know where we got to go to first. Go to before we let out. Which one of those cops got disciplined for sexual misconduct on campus? Ray and Annette. Okay, I got his picture here somewhere. He resigned. He resigned like a week before the murders. Let me see if I can find it, because I had him on here before. I might have thrown it away. His name is Matt Kurt, or Matt Kurt, I believe you say. And to me, he's a big suspect, because he's proven that most likely he would lay up with the young girls. Okay, here's the article. Let me make it a little smaller. Okay, it's gonna be a little blurry. Hold on a minute. Let me move this little tree. Okay, here he is. His name is Matt Kurt. And that's him on the screen. I don't know why you can't. Well, you should be able to see it. Can you all see the article with the officer? Well, that's weird. Let me see if I can see it on this phone. All right, so
Expedia, all your trip, all in one place.
Let me see if I can see it on here. Well, they say I'm on ad restriction, but I see a bunch of ads on here, so I don't know what that means. Cindy Abbott. Here's a scary thought. I had not been for the bravery of that girl who filmed the unaliving of George Floyd, those 4 cops would still have a job. I cried buckets over that case. Shout out to Cindy. You know, that's a very powerful, I'm going to give you a brain for that. You know, not because of George Floyd or the policeman that was, charged. I'm going to give you a brain for that because some people really need to see evidence that the police will actually be out of line sometimes. Because otherwise, if they don't see it with their own 2 eyes, they won't believe it. They won't believe it. Okay, I'm loading things on my screen, and they're not. I can see the officer. I can see it. Okay, that's the one that was engaged in predatory behavior. Oh, Gunderson's a piece of work too. All of them. Shout out to Robin. All of them. I mean, everybody has a past, but when it comes to working around young girls and stuff, you have to have a certain amount of, trustworthiness to work with kids. And to me, college students, those are still kids. All right? It makes me sick to think of Zana and her defensive wounds to her hands. Shout out to Donna R. It makes me sick to believe they were still alive, and if somebody had called an ambulance, they could have. And that's another reason the coroner don't want to say too much, because she don't want to have somebody land in jail because of her report. They're looking out for each other. How in the world, they say Ethan was wedged up against the door, and that was because he crawled to the door, and he expired right there at the door trying to go get help. And just the thought of that, it's shameful. It's shameful, really. It's shameful. Whoever did this, it's shameful. It's shameful. I don't care what the excuse is. It's shameful. And then to cover it up and try to charge somebody when you don't know who did it, that's shameful. It just gets worse and worse. Worse and worse. Larry Wilhelm. Yeah, he ran off with his tail between his legs like the animal that he is. Shout out to Larry Wilhelm. All right, Laura. Tina Velez, very interesting. Maybe he is involved some way. Leslie Vasquez. I'm thinking it took at least 2 people to hold Ethan down. Either that or they got him quick, Leslie. Shout out to Leslie Vasquez. Either that or they got him quick. You know, to get the drop on somebody like that, the best, well, I'm not an assassin, but I'm just saying, to get to him quick and get to his throat or something that's gonna be fatal very quickly, to me, that was the goal. Or that would be the goal. So they won't have to fight him. And if he was sleeping in the bed, you know, all they had to do was walk in there and do it. And then wait for his body to catch up to what they did to him while they fight Xana. Because I don't feel like Xana could have fought a grown man like that. I don't understand how Xana was able to, or Kaylee, I don't understand how they were able to fight off a grown man. I think the 4 people were meant to be taken out. I don't think any of it was collateral. Also, someone wanted those bodies found that way for a reason. Jennifer S. Shut up. Jennifer, I'm going to give you a brain. Because it's no reason of saying who is the target. The target, it was whoever was dead. Whoever's dead is the target. That's just common sense. Because they didn't have to kill anybody. They didn't have to go in there bothering anybody. Okay? It's not one person in the house just had to die. You know, none of them had a death wish. Not far as I knew. And even if they did, that doesn't mean somebody had to give it to them. The target is whoever was dead. If I come in the house and I see 4 bodies laying around, I'm going to count 4 targets. I'm not going to go try to figure out which one of them drew the heat. All of them are passed away. Whoever did that meant to kill all 4 of them. When we did the video, what's the name of it? The cross-examination of Dylan, of DM. Check that video out that I made if you haven't seen it already. It's the cross-examination of DM parts 1 and 2. Where you can see that whoever put that, whoever put the whoever came in the house and went upstairs to Maddie and Kaylee's room. You know, with a dog in the house, a man in the house, you don't know who all is in there. And then for Dylan and Bethany to escape, my first thought was that they were never in the house in the first place. That was my first thought. They were never in the house in the first place. If they were a part of the crime. Because whoever went, they killed all 4 of them. That's who they meant to kill. Because they passed by Dylan's room so many times. So many times they passed by Dylan's room. If she was in there, she's an accomplice. You can't tell me somebody passed by a bedroom 3 or 4 times and didn't harm the person in there, but brutally murdered 4 other people. If Dylan was in our room when the killing was going on, Dylan was a part of it. Because whoever did it, there's no way they knew somebody was in there living, alive, and what they had just done, and they left a witness. I don't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm sorry. I can't believe it. And I believe Hunter could have been there. What do you think about that one? I believe Hunter could have been there. I believe Hunter was there. I believe Hunter didn't just get called over there. I believe he was there from the get. I believe Hunter knows exactly who did it, and he helped them get that house clean and wipe up some stuff and do some damage control. I believe Hunter was there doing damage control right along with Bethany and Dylan. That's my thought. Now, what do you think about that one? Huh? These kids are smart. They make you think whatever they want you to think digitally. That's all. They let you think whatever they want you to think as far as digital evidence. You can't trust any of the cell phones or any of that stuff, the timestamps or anything, because you just can't trust it. We have 4 victims, and as far as I'm concerned, it could have been 6 if everybody was home. I believe Hunter Johnson was at the house that night. I believe he was there before the police was called. And I don't think he was just getting there to jump in as the leader and go in there and discover any bodies. I believe he was already there. I believe he had been there from the night before after that game. I believe Hunter Johnson was there. Because I see him in that house too much. He was running the door. Whatever they was selling out of there, Hunter had a hand in it. So I just feel like he was there. That's 1. That's 3. That's 3 that could have been there. The 2 girls and Hunter Johnson. I believe they were there. I believe they were together. I don't believe he was just showing up. I just don't believe it. No, the person that took the ID, that was Rosie. That was Rosie that took the picture of the ID. You know, he was out of control too. But who is that brought up George Floyd? Let's take that in. Well, we sat there and watched him kill a man right there on the sidewalk with no problems and no worries in the world. On camera, didn't care about it. Just a killer. And he did it so easy. You know, he was so unconcerned about actually going too far that let you know he had done it before. But I don't get the same vibe with this guy here. I don't get the same vibe. But I just feel like when somebody is down with doing something like that, usually they do it somewhere far away to where once they have done it, they really don't have to look back no more because they're not going to be there anyway. I think whoever would have done this, they would live further away from Moscow than just right there at the WSU campus. That's why I always first thought it was a serial killer, because I thought it was somebody passing through. They're never going to see Moscow again after they do this. So it doesn't matter. Let them investigate all they want to, because the killer is long gone. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? The killer is long gone. I don't understand how this timetable even made it to a discussion in a PCA. I don't see how they were able to pull that off. For people to believe that all of this happened in 8 or 9 minutes. I don't understand that either. How somebody could believe that. I just don't understand how somebody could believe that. All right. Okay, so where does that put us in our discussion? Where does that put us in our discussion? All right, let's see. Robin Latham. Gunderson was the Banfield video with the open container kids. Okay, thank you for that. Somebody asked the question. Shout out to Robin. All right. Who had the fake fight Venmo transactions? That was Miss Potts. Shout out to Miss Potts. Who did have it? That was Rosie? I don't know about that now. I don't have the facts on that, so maybe y'all do. Maybe y'all do. That was Rosendahl. Okay, maybe. Here's a scary thought. Wow, Matt got Brian's DNA somehow at the school or police department. Shout out to Tina. All I know is he makes a better suspect than some of what they're trying to drag through the ringer. And that's not the first time he's been tied up in some mess. "13 years as a peace officer and then promoted to detective." Miss John Knapp. Shout out to Miss John Knapp. All right, thank you for that. One Maiden Nut. Shout out to One Maiden Nut. All right. Ray Annette. Wait. Yes, we see it. Leslie Vasquez. They're all creepy at this point. Tell it to L. All right. Shout out to Leslie and tell it to L. Right, right. But this guy here, I don't know if he's an amateur at it or what, but I think he was just getting started in his foolishness before all of this happened. But you never know who it could have been, you know? Maybe they left Diem alive so she could be the original Patsy. Who knows? I'm gonna give you a brain for that, Steph. Yeah, you deserve a brain and a shout out for that. Now listen to why I say that. Because you have to think about it like this. The first person that you should look at in a situation like this is the people in the house. Detectives will tell you they work from the inside out when they have a homicide and they got friends and family all in the mix. They work from the inside out. And so whoever did it, they knew that that was going to make Bethany and Dylan look terrible. That they're still alive. I mean, when you think about it, that's very powerful. That's a very powerful thought. Okay, maybe she is the Patsy too. Because they got that statement from her. And we all know that it's a bunch of baloney. But who's going to be contempt of court for perjury? She is, not the officers. Not the officers that told her to say that. She is. I have to get off of here. I love you all. All right. Well, we give you some love, Leslie. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us. You know we enjoy you every time. I'm going to see you some hearts. Shout out to Leslie. All right. Yeah, I really, really, really like that. Shout out to Brian. Robin Latham, please, everyone, hit the like button. Thank you so much for your hard work, Robin. Shout out to Robin and Stephanie. Great job, great job. Tell the L, why haven't we heard about DNA on the victims, like especially Xana who fought back? Shout out to Tell It to L. Because, how can somebody fight with their fingers until they almost severed, but they're not severed, they're still there? She had to scratch something. So was like Tell the L is saying, what happened to, what's under her fingernails? Hmm? Oh, y'all warming up. It's so imagine if the "it's okay, I'm going to help you" was BK coming over after BF called him and he was gathering evidence. Miss Potts, I don't think Brian wants to place himself anywhere near that house. So even if he did at some point go there or know somebody there, he's never going to admit it. If he want to stay alive, he better not admit it. If he even suggests he was anywhere near the house, anytime during that block where they claimed they couldn't trace his phone, he's a goner. Hmm? They're just trying to make it seem like he was in there saying he was going to help somebody, because he doesn't look much like a big killer, not to me anyway. I'm just saying. Magical Marinara, was that the real name of it, or was it a special name for Maddie and Kaylee? I know it was some kind of carbonara. I don't know. I have no idea. BF and BK were pulled up on the same damn Pullman. We can't get BF body cam for that stop, just a ticket. I would like to see the ticket, Miss Potts. Do you have it? Can you email me? Shout out to Miss Potts. Can you email me the ticket? I don't think I have that. And I would like to have it. Well, if they were pulled up on the same day, to me that suggests that they weren't together. Unless they were pulled over in the same vehicle. Now that's why Ann Taylor is subpoenaing Bethany. Shout out to Cindy Abbott. Tina Velez, it has been alleged that those two girls were texting one another through the unaliving. Yeah, filming it. If you filming something like that, that's a snuff film. Even if you just filming it for your own personal reference, to share it with other people and tell them, look, look, look. That's, and then to turn around, you mean to tell me you saw that gruesomeness online with it? That let you know the tattoos didn't mean anything. If that's true. If that's true, the tattoos didn't mean anything. Be honest with you. If they were texting during the unaliving, that means those tattoos didn't mean jack. What you say about that? I just don't know what to say about that, because I know for a fact that I have seen some pictures with timestamps between 3 and 4 a.m. 3 and 8:30 a.m. because there seemed to be when they finished the cleanup at 8:30. If you look at everything that's been said, even the lady talking about how her daughter knew what was going on. If you listen to all of that and put it all together, it seems like everybody finished with the cleanup at about 8:30. Whoever was trying to do something there, they went on and did it, got it done. And it seemed like at 8:30 or about 8 o'clock in the morning, they left and they left the door open. They left the front door open. And that's how we know there was some staging, because the front door was left open, but the dog was still in his room. So whoever it was didn't want Murphy to get out. Whoever left, they cared about Murphy. Because the front door left wide open, but the dog was in the room where he couldn't run out. Now, I ask you, how big of a stranger would do something like that? Who? Who would even do that? Shout out to Half Pint. Hey, Half Pint. Let me send you some love. Welcome. Hello. Oh. All right. So I'm saying, is that the other male DNA? I don't know. He would be stupid to place himself there now. He better not say, if he says that he was anywhere in Moscow, it's game over. And that's coming from the heart, it'll be game over for him. That's what it'll be. Because they'll say, we told you his phone was off, but he was in Moscow. But you know, the way that this document sounds, this little response to the alibi request, the way that sounds, it's like Ann Taylor's not even expecting for it to go far enough to him have to give his alibi. Ann Taylor's making $200 an hour. Okay? One made shout out to one made nut. I wonder if the reason they won't release the body cam for Bethany Pullman stop is because the vehicle she's driving needs to be a secret. Okay, that's a really interesting take. But they don't even want to mention that Bethany was in Pullman. They admit that Kaylee has been in Pullman, showing where she signed her name on one of those student center walls. But they don't talk about Bethany. All right. Molly Gray with the Venmo transaction. Hold on now. Then she paid the fine after it doubled. BK was pulled over in Pullman for the same thing. BF was pulled over in Pullman for the same thing. BK was stopped for twice, following too close. Doesn't even say what kind of car BF was driving. She didn't pay the ticket. The fine doubled. Then she paid the fine after it doubled. Half pint is cray. Yeah, that is cray. It is. The letters tattooed on the girls are in the order they were snuffed out, I heard. Yeah, I heard that too. Will any of you clean up after some perp you didn't know? Shout out to Cindy Abbott, another great comment. Another great comment, Cindy. That's a good one. Where was Murphy when Payne arrived, though? By the time Payne arrived, Murphy was already in the room. Huh? All right. Mm-hmm. That's true. Yep, that's true too. Molly Gray with the Venmo transaction to Liz K on November 12th around 3 p.m. in the afternoon marked as 3:30 a.m. Right? Thank you for bringing that up, Miss Potts. We can't trust the digital evidence. We can't trust it. Nope, he saw Murphy on body cam. No, Officer Payne saw Murphy on Officer Nunez's body cam. All right, let me put that in the chat to clear that up. Opie saw Murphy on Officer Nunez's body cam, not his own. I think that's Nunez with an S. Yeah. He saw Murphy on Nunez because Nunez he came with the first respond as a first responder. All right. Annie Ruler and Marion M. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Shout out to Annie and Marion. Wow. Some good thoughts tonight. Good thoughts tonight. Yes, Murphy got out. You could hear someone whistling and calling him. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it for 5 seconds. I wouldn't doubt it. And then didn't Xana's father say that she was home earlier than 2 a.m.? It's like he busted them out. I believe he said that on the news at the beginning, and then we didn't hear it anymore. We didn't hear it. We didn't hear it anymore. He came out the gate saying Xana was at home by 12 o'clock, and her father had just changed the locks on her door. So, I mean, there was no secret at the beginning. Then all of a sudden, you didn't hear it anymore. Hmm? Rusty, give a shout out to the Hard Truth Patriots. Shout out to the Hard Truth Patriots. What's up, Rusty? That's right, that's right. All right. Shout out, and here's the love. All right. Thank you, thank you. One made a nut. Imagine the implications of that if BF oftentimes borrowed his car. There's our exculpatory evidence connection with BF unique to her experience. That's true. Shout out to One Made Nut. That's true. All right. Yeah, and Kaylee takes dog potty ASAP when home not playing at 4 a.m. Any dog owner knows that. Xana didn't wake up and order food randomly. And how the heck does either roomie know if they too were asleep? That's what I said. Who said that? Tell it to L. Shout out to Tell it to L. And I see Denny jumped out with 5 memberships. Wow. Boy, I can't believe it. How big the channel is growing. Thank you so much, Denny. Let me send you some love. 5 memberships from Denny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Dan. All right. Let's see who we got here. Tina Velez, gifted a membership. The Ropers, gifted a membership. All right. Mags G, gifted a membership. Jules Merck and Bunny Murphy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And also, remember to send your email so that you can get a copy of the newsletter. Okay, my email is always on the community page. I will put it down here again for you new people, so you can get your copy of the newsletter. All right. New members, if you would like to receive the newsletter, the members only newsletter, send me your email address and I'll send you a copy. You'll be on the weekly list to receive it. All right. And Denny, thanks again to you. That's 10 members tonight. Y'all are on it, man. Y'all are on it. Oh, thank you, the apple. Let me send out some hearts for Denny. Thank you, Den. That's right. That's awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Using a knife is a sexual type weapon. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Shout out to Adrian. So what are you trying to say? The killer had to be a man? Are you saying whoever it is a sexual predator? Because you know Papa Rogers said that these crimes were sexually motivated even though there was no evidence of it. And there was a case like that with Wayne Williams where he wasn't actually molesting the boys to where you could see evidence of it. But they were all the boys, and you know, weird things were happening with their clothes, and you know, obviously something was being done to them, but you just wouldn't know it all from, you know, just one look at the eye. That's what I'm saying. Now, recuperating from something. All right, Robin, I'm glad you made it through it. You're welcome, Adrian. You're welcome anytime. It is very personal. Oh my goodness. I hope you're somewhere resting, Donna. Shout out to Donna for being strong during this time where she's recuperating. All right, and we send some positive healing energy your way. Donna R. All right. Well, Miss Potts says, in my opinion, knives were used simply because they're untraceable like a gun. Yes, that's true, but why the degree of mutilation? And then if you have that many victims, you got that many people you on your list to kill. I mean, look to me like you would have brought a gun or a bolt or something, because that's a lot of people to have to unalive with just a knife. And if your knife slip or they have a gun, you out of gas. What if they would have came in there and one of the victims had a gun? It is hard. You're gonna be strong and jumping around in no time, Donna. We're gonna be hippity hopping around in no time. Well, Laura Smith. Shout out Laura S. Shout out to Laura S. We didn't find out, but the one way we could have found out, we won't. The coroner, we couldn't even get the time of death, so we're not gonna find out if she was pregnant. Now they could have jammed Brian Kohberger up if they would have said Kaylee was pregnant and it was his. Now that would have done it for him. That would have done it for him. Yeah, we saw that. Terry. Shout out to Terry Butler. Shout out to Terry. All right. I thought it. This was a shock and awe campaign conducted on this home and these victims, multiple perps, multiple weapons, trained individuals, in my opinion. Miss Potts. Yeah. Yeah, well, I can see why you say that. I can see why people would say that. I mean, we have to prove everything, but I can see why somebody would say that. Because to me, regardless of how long it took them to do it in real time, for somebody to go in a split level home where you got to go up and down stairs, you can't guarantee who's in there unless it's an inside job. And you went in there, all you had was a straight edge weapon. If somebody had a gun, they could have popped you. I just don't see how somebody would feel like they could do that unless it was an inside job. You just, it's a lot of people in the house all the time. You still went in there like that? And then you stayed in there long enough to kill two people on two different floors? Well, then that's what they meant to do when they came. Okay? It wasn't no stalking. They meant to get everybody. They probably meant to get Bethany and Dylan too. If they didn't, then they're involved. Those are the only two choices I got for Dylan. Those are the only two choices I got. Either they weren't there, they don't have a clue. They're just soaking up some attention right now. Or they were involved. There's not really too many more choices. Be honest, how many choices you think you're going to get? For murder, quadruple murder. That's a lot. And so I just feel like we need to keep pressing on and not, and not just jump out here and accept what's going on. And the fact that even though we haven't 100% solved the case yet, we have eliminated a lot of fluff that would have stopped us from being able to solve it by now. And so I'm not anxious to get the answer unless I can get it to the exclusion of every other possibility. I'm not in a rush because when I get it, I want it to be right. I haven't 100% excluded Brian Kohberger from being involved. I personally don't see him stabbing anybody in their house. But I do see him going somewhere to buy him a drink from a bootleg or something like that. I don't see him running with any of those girls. I think they were too young for him. And I think if he ever did settle down, it would have been with a woman that probably was older than him. somebody more mature than him that can fill in the gaps and stuff he has no clue about. That's my impression. I don't see Brian Kohberger wanting a 20 or 21-year-old. I don't see it. I think he's beyond that. Because even now, he got big boy problems. You in jail for quadruple murder. What's a 21-year-old going to do for a man in jail for quadruple murder? She just starting out her own life. So how she going to come running back and forth to a jail to help you? You know, when you have big boy and big girl problems, you need to have a big boy or a big girl as part of the solution. So I really don't. I have to say either way on that one, because the point of the matter is it could go either way. But when you have this kind of stuff going on in a low income neighborhood, you know, in a low to middle class area, where you got a lot of stuff go on, it goes on like that all the time. It's nothing new. That wasn't the only place that had house parties on that street, on that block. But nobody deserved to lose their life like they did. Nobody. Nobody deserved that. And then they have to call these parents and tell them you didn't get the job done when you're supposed to protect them. That's the part I'm talking about. It doesn't matter what day of the week you look at the news clippings, you will see that whoever did this, when they went in their house, they meant to kill everybody that they killed. I say that in my video about Dylan Mortensen. I say that in my video. All right, now it's 11:12. We're gonna take one or two more questions, and we're gonna push it to 11:30, and then we'll be signing off for tonight. We'll be signing off at about 11:30. So let's take a couple more topics. Let me see what you got. Dim begged Kaylee to come there that day. Maddie didn't ask her to come over. Dim did to be her +1 for some gathering. Shout out to Miss John E. Knapp, because that's true and that's very important to me. Because they kept saying she wanted to show Maddie her truck. But they say everything except that the reason she was there was Dylan. They say whenever you read in the news or any circle, they talk about everything except the fact that she was there for Dylan. And Dylan is always got that evil, jealous eye. Every time. Yes, why did Dim beg Kaylee to come there? Allured. Yep, shout out to Cindy. I said the same thing. Allured. And so once they had a full house, they got the football game. Everybody's going to be distracted, drunk, laying up. So who's going to know? Who's going to know? And Kaylee was torn about what to do, whether to go or not, according to Mrs. G's interview. Shout out to Steph. Yep, I heard all of that too. But you notice they always say she came to show Maddie the truck. They always say that. They never say anything about her coming for Dylan. They never do. Never. I don't know how to get this guy off of here. Trying to change my screen. Wow. What happens here? This technology's been crazy today. What in the world is this? Now. Well, maybe that's it. Nope. This is weird. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. All right, she just moved out. Yeah, and you know, Kaylee broke up with her boyfriend. They say she broke up with Jack like 3 weeks before this happened. Robert, I feel for what you're going through. I too am alone. Maybe when we know one another, we can become contacts. We could both use emotional support. Oh, that's so sweet. I thought you were going to say maybe we were all going to get together and meet up somewhere. You talk about just you and Robin. Okay, well, being single is a blessing and a curse. But guess what? So is being married. But it's good to network with good people. And I think Robin is a good person, far as I know. All right? I hope she's not guilty of the Idaho 4 crime and on here talking to us knowing she did it. I hope that's not the case. I'm just joking around. I'm not saying. All right? Well, that's very good that we can get together and network and speak with each other in a kind sense, because all that other stuff is not necessary. It's really not. Yeah, we'll get to meet up one day. You know, things are picking up a little slowly. You know, sometimes it's software issues and things like that, but it's coming along. And yes, and in the newsletter, if you want to, we can just post everybody's email in the newsletter so you can contact each other. Right? Okay, I know what else I wanted to ask y'all about. Now, did anybody hear about this? And I'm gonna put it in the chat. Cause we always dogging out Mr. G and Mrs. G. You know, giving them heck. What do y'all think about this? All right. They say that Ethan's mom wrote the children's book, and usually people write children's books to hide hush money. And so, do you think that the Chapin family already received some kind of wrongful death settlement? Because somebody was talking to me about that in one of the video chats. Now, I'm not saying anything more than speculation. Cindy Abbott and Reed Chapin's odd they let other two siblings return to that suspect school. All right, shout out to Cindy. All right. Yes, now that I don't understand, right? Yes, well, the Chapins are a little different for sure. Yeah, Yes, Cindy, no way would I. Mary and M, I'm not sure what you mean. I'm gonna give you a shout out, but I'm not sure what you mean. Are you talking to Cindy? Okay. Miss Potts, the boy who wore blue, yeah. And totally believe that I live alone too. Right. And it's so much going on in the world right now. Being a it could be a blessing. You can't even hardly have somebody come and live with you because they show out and you can't evict them. It takes forever to evict them. I was watching a program in the UK where the people don't pay the rent, and then they pull some kind of legal maneuver to where it takes the landlord a long time to make them actually move out of the flat. And so I was thinking, everybody need a roof over their heads, but at the same time, those squatters can really put the landlords out of business. And so what I'm saying is, these people that you are saying they live alone, you have to be careful and not think of that as something negative, because number one, you still here, regardless of who you live with or don't live with, you still here. And so we have to be grateful for the gift of life. And then, it's nothing wrong with being alone. You have to learn to enjoy your own company. Who got stanky laundry? Ha! Who got stanky laundry? Lord have mercy. Stanky laundry. Shout out to Steph. All right? It's nothing wrong with being by yourself. I mean, because you can have the devil in a blue, green, and purple dress come along and you'll be wishing to be back by yourself so bad you'll be hollering to get back by yourself. So the grass always looks greener on the other side. But let me tell you what's going on the other side. Some of everything, including quadruple murder. So don't even say, don't talk about living alone. You're not alone. You're never alone. The Bible said, Lord, I'll be with you always until the end of the earth. So how can you be alone? The Lord is right there. The Holy Spirit is right there. Okay? You can have a shell of a person there. I know that's right, John Enap, Mr. John Enap. It's nothing wrong with living alone. Oh my God. You may have been alone, living single for so long until it seemed like the grass is greener. And sometimes you just have to take your own advice, because the devil is seeking who he can steal, kill, and destroy. And if you even halfway feel like you love the Lord, you are on his list. And he would love to bring hell on wheels into your life. He would love to do it. Amen. You're not alone, you're single. You're single, you're not alone. You're not even alone right now. You look at all these people you're around right now. You're not even alone right now. You mean you're single. It's a difference between being single and being alone. And you're not alone, because look at all the friends you have in here. So that can't be true. Huh? Come on now. It's a difference between being single and being alone. Stop saying you're alone. You're not alone. You're just single. And I'm sure you have some family or somebody, if it's nothing but a niece or nephew, that loves you and give you a smile every time they see you. So you're not alone. You know, I don't believe that. You're never alone. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, don't say you're alone. You're alone. You're just single. That's all. Because being alone is a state of mind. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You're not alone. Look at all these friends right now talking together. You know, I care about you. I'm a friend, so why? You can't be alone. If you got one person that values your friendship, you are not alone. So you are disqualified just from me caring about you. So just stop it. Stop it. An only child is just an only child. That doesn't mean they're alone. They can have mega friendships. They can have a significant other, a life partner, or whatever. That does not designate alone as being an only child. It does not. That's right. That's right. You know, aloneness is a state of mind. You can be married and feel like you're alone. And you can be single and feel connected to everybody in your life. It's a state of mind. All right? And so don't forget that. We're going to have our lives and we're going to meet up and have a good time as many times as we can. And we're going to be grateful for these times that we can meet up. And we're going to keep it positive and loving. All right? It don't take that much. It don't take that much, you know. Yeah, being alone and being lonely, that's not the same thing either. Right? A senior citizen moved single to foreign country. Right, right, right. Yeah, a lot of people do that. Move to a foreign country. I thought many days about moving to South Africa. I thought many days about it. I wouldn't say that I'm alone. I can't say I'm alone. And I can't say I'm lonely. But I can say that I have been and I know the feeling. I'll put it that way. You know, because thanks be to God, I'm good right here, right now. I'm grateful for the conversations I do have. And I'm grateful for the people that do take the time to speak to me. You know, because I got people that, you know, I wish they would speak or have some kind of nice conversation with me, but they don't or they won't. And so, well, that's fine. There's somebody out there that'll have a kind word for me. Somebody, it might not be who I want it to be, but it's somebody. It's somebody. My concern is mom and I were so close as dad abandoned us when I was a teen, so I cherish good people. Right, right. I'm gonna send all y'all some love. I don't want to hear this alone stuff. Well, I didn't say anything crazy about you, Robin. When did I say that? I did not. I did not say that. I said you can't say that you're alone because you have friends, so you can't say that. And you have Amos, so you can't say that. You can't say that. I didn't say anything about you being crazy. Yeah, I send you emails. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if you got so much issues, then you should be at the members only meeting on Wednesdays where we have prayer. That's what prayer is for. If you're not satisfied with your current status quo, that's what prayer is for. And so we got almost we before this meeting we had about 50 members. And so at the meeting we only had about a fifth of everybody. So if you know you got issues that you're trying to work through, it's safety in numbers, come to the members only meeting on Wednesdays and get in on the prayer. That's all you have to do. Oh no, I didn't mean that. It's literally robbing. Come on now, you know good and well you couldn't handle it. You could not handle it. How you gonna kill somebody? I just come. Okay, well I'm sorry I said it because evidently I shouldn't have said it because you didn't take it as a joke. But I didn't say you were crazy. I never used that word. I don't believe. I don't think I would have said that. No, you could. I know you. Oh my God. Cut it out. You know I don't think you killed anybody. Huh? Yep. Yeah, eventually we'll get to the telephone, Cindy. All right. I'm just trying to get a few things together right now, but we'll get there. We can Zoom. We can Zoom. You know, we can use Teams. I don't know what software y'all got. Oh, B River Girl. All right. Yeah, I think Hunter knows everything. I believe he's in the middle of the action. He knows everything. Yep. All right. I'm feeling a little fatigued tonight. Usually I can go to midnight. But I'm gonna give this chat another 10 minutes to 11:42 and then I'm gonna shut it down. I think I need to try to get some rest tonight. And from what I can hear, Donna, a couple of y'all need some rest too. So let's see. I'm going to keep the chat open to 11:42, but I'm gonna sign off. And let's see. I got a email newsletter request from Leslie and somebody. Let's see. Dennis Odd. What's your screen name? Dennis, what's your screen name? Oh my God, there's AF, my little angel. AF, you are my angel. Happy almost Friday, hard truth. That's big money, AF. AF always step in and show me some love every time. Every time. AF, like, what can I do without you? Huh? Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you, AF. All right. Thank you for the new membership, Stephanie and Denny. Thank you. Thank you for the likes. I see 79 likes. Wow. And also, I need to know who is Dennis Odd. If you sent me a newsletter request, please let me know who you are. I'll put it on there, but I don't know who it is. All right. So guess what? It's 11:34. I'm going to leave the chat open, and I want to just take the money and run, because AF just hooked me up too. Ah, shucks. Ah, shucks. So, happy almost Friday to you all, and much love to you. As always, I enjoy talking with everyone. You're such beautiful, awesome people. All right, AF, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me send you some more love. I'm convinced you are an angel. I'm convinced of it. Okay, Denny, that's right. I got you. Why didn't I know that? All right, so I only have those two requests for. I only had the two requests. Let me see. From Leslie and Denny. Those are only two I have. So I'm going to let that ride. And I'm going to give y'all another 5. Thank you so much, moderators. Stephanie, Robin. All right. Hey, I'm still spending money. Lord have mercy. I told you that's big money, AF. I can tell. I know you're a millionaire. You don't have to show out in here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Yeah, I can use it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The channel is going on, going forward. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's awesome. I thank you. I love you too. Good night. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'm getting ready to get it right now. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all. Night, night.